Imagine this. You're at a social gathering, and someone throws a disrespectful remark your way, perhaps in an attempt to appear witty or dominant. Most people either laugh it off awkwardly or react with frustration, both of which only give power to the one delivering the insult. But then there's the rare individual who responds differently. He doesn't flinch. He simply holds eye contact, remains composed, and calmly asks, "Could you repeat that?" Suddenly, the energy shifts. The person who made the joke starts second-guessing themselves. The room falls silent for a moment, and just like that, the dynamic has changed. This isn't about aggression or dominance. It's about presence, control, and the ability to command respect without demanding it. Respect isn't given to those who chase it. It's naturally drawn to those who carry themselves with unwavering confidence. The Stoics understood this well. They knew that respect starts from within, from how you respond to challenges, how you set boundaries, and how you project self-assurance in every interaction. In this video, we'll break down the key strategies to handle public disrespect, use body language to establish authority, and navigate social situations with a Stoic mindset. Master these principles, and you'll notice an immediate shift in how people perceive and respect you. Let's get started. Responding to humiliating jokes. When someone makes a humiliating joke at your expense, the goal is often to amuse others while subtly diminishing you. Many people instinctively react with anger or embarrassment, but a Stoic response flips the dynamic, shifting control back into your hands without unnecessary confrontation. A simple yet powerful technique is to ask the person to repeat their joke. Imagine someone tries to belittle you in front of a group. Instead of laughing along or lashing out, you calmly look at them and say, "Sorry, I didn't quite hear that. Could you repeat it?" This does two things. First, it forces them to acknowledge their words, stripping away the casualness of their remark. Second, it places them in an uncomfortable position. Now they must either backtrack or say the joke again, which often makes it sound forced or awkward. Silence is another effective tool. If someone attempts to humiliate you, simply pausing, holding their gaze for a moment, and not reacting at all can make them feel self-conscious. Social interactions are built on expected responses. When you don't give them what they want, they lose momentum. Over time, they'll realize that attempting to undermine you doesn't work. Epictetus reminds us that it's not the insult itself that harms us, but our interpretation of it. By maintaining composure and refusing to give the joke power, you assert quiet dominance. In the end, respect is not demanded. It is earned by how you carry yourself in these subtle battles of social interaction. Walking away as a power move. There is immense strength in knowing when to walk away. Many people mistake leaving a disrespectful situation for weakness, but in reality, it's a sign of self-respect and control. The ability to disengage from unnecessary conflict shows that you value your peace more than the need to prove a point. Imagine you're in a heated argument where the other person refuses to listen, becoming more aggressive and unreasonable. The common reaction might be to match their intensity, to argue louder, to demand respect. But what does that achieve? In most cases, nothing but wasted energy and heightened emotions. Instead, taking a deep breath, giving them a calm but uninterested look, and simply walking away sends a far stronger message It shows that their words have no power over you. Walking away isn't about avoiding confrontation out of fear. It's about recognizing when further engagement serves no purpose. A Stoic does not seek validation from others, nor engage in battles that drain their energy without reward. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. By refusing to play their game, you demonstrate true dominance, not over them, but over yourself." In the end, respect is not won through arguments or dominance. It is earned by those who know their worth. The person who can walk away with dignity always holds the upper hand. The Stoic approach to respect. Respect is not something you can demand. It is something you command through your actions and presence. A man who constantly seeks validation or forces others to acknowledge his worth only appears weak. True respect is earned through unwavering self-conduct and clear boundaries. Imagine a scenario. You walk into a room, and people naturally turn to acknowledge you, not because you are loud or demanding attention, but because your presence commands it. You stand with confidence, speak only when necessary, and never feel the need to prove yourself. This is the essence of Stoic respect, silent but undeniable. Seneca once said, "A person's worth is measured by the worth of what they value." If you value your dignity and self-control, others will too. The Stoic approach teaches that respect comes from within. When you carry yourself with discipline and integrity, people will recognize it. You don't need to chase approval, because those who matter will naturally gravitate toward you. A crucial aspect of commanding respect is setting firm boundaries. If someone speaks to you with disrespect, you don't need to argue or raise your voice. A simple, calm response such as, "I don't engage in discussions like this," is enough to make them realize that you won't tolerate being treated poorly. Walking away from unnecessary conflict is not a sign of weakness, but of self-respect. Another powerful tool is maintaining composure under pressure. In moments of confrontation, most people expect an emotional reaction: anger, defensiveness, or insecurity. But when you remain calm and unshaken, it unsettles them. They realize that their words or actions have no power over you. This level of control is intimidating in the best way possible. It shows that you are the master of yourself, and that alone earns respect. Respect is a byproduct of living with purpose, discipline, and self-restraint. When you embody these principles, you won't need to seek respect. It will come to you naturally. Handling public disrespect. Disrespect in public is often not about you. It's about the other person's insecurities. Imagine you're in a meeting, and a colleague makes a sarcastic remark at your expense. Perhaps they want to seem clever in front of others, or maybe they feel threatened by your competence. Either way, their words are not a reflection of your worth, but of their need for validation. The key to commanding respect in such moments is not reacting emotionally, but responding with control. A Stoic knows that external events hold no power over their peace. Only their response does. If someone disrespects you, pause before reacting. A composed demeanor signals that their words have no impact on your self-worth. If you respond with anger, you hand them control over your emotions. But if you remain calm, you subtly assert dominance. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." One of the most effective ways to handle public disrespect is through silence. If someone insults you in a group setting, instead of firing back, simply look at them for a moment and say nothing. The weight of their own words will settle in, and more often than not, they'll feel the discomfort of their own pettiness. Another technique is deflection, responding with an unrelated question like, "Is there something you're trying to say?" This forces them to either clarify or retreat, putting you in control of the interaction. Respect is never demanded. It's commanded through self-possession. When you show that you are unshaken by petty provocations, people recognize your strength. Mastering this mindset will ensure that no insult, no public challenge, and no fleeting remark can ever shake your foundation. Handling interruptions with a firm gaze respect isn't just about what you say, it's about how you handle moments of disrespect. When someone interrupts you, speaks over you, or tries to undermine you in a conversation, your reaction determines whether they see you as someone to be dismissed or someone to be taken seriously. The key is not to react emotionally, but to respond with controlled presence. Imagine you're in a discussion and someone abruptly cuts you off. The natural impulse might be to raise your voice or immediately jump back in. But a wiser approach, rooted in Stoicism, is to pause, maintain steady eye contact, and say nothing. This moment of silence does more than words ever could. It forces the other person to acknowledge their behavior. Most people become uncomfortable when they realize they've overstepped. Your composure becomes a quiet form of power. Marcus Aurelius taught that we should not be disturbed by others' actions, but instead remain anchored in our own discipline. A firm gaze, an upright posture, and a composed demeanor send a stronger message than an emotional reaction ever could. By staying calm and unshaken, you signal that you are not easily rattled, and that commands more respect than any loud confrontation. Next time someone interrupts you, resist the urge to react instantly. Instead, take a breath, meet their eyes, and hold your ground in silence. The weight of your presence will speak louder than any argument ever could. First impressions matter. People form opinions about you within seconds of meeting you. Before you even speak, your body language, posture, and demeanor already communicate who you are. A firm handshake, standing up when greeting someone, or making steady eye contact may seem like small gestures, but they send a powerful message, one of confidence and self-respect. Imagine walking into a room for the first time. If you slouch, avoid eye contact, or speak too softly, people will subconsciously perceive you as unsure of yourself. But if you stand tall, make deliberate movements, and acknowledge others with a composed nod, you signal strength without uttering a single word. These nonverbal cues set the foundation for how people treat you. The Stoics understood the power of presence. Marcus Aurelius carried himself with dignity, not because he sought admiration, but because he knew that a leader must embody the virtues he preaches. Likewise, if you wish to command respect, you must first respect yourself. It starts with how you carry yourself in everyday interactions. One of the simplest ways to demonstrate this is by standing when someone enters the room or greeting people with intention. These acts show that you recognize their presence, but more importantly, they show that you have nothing to prove. You are simply a man who respects both himself and others. When you master the art of strong yet effortless body language, people take notice, and respect follows naturally. Diffusing provocations with an unrelated question. When someone tries to provoke you, they expect a reaction: anger, frustration, or defensiveness. Their power comes from your emotional response. But what happens when you don't play by their rules? A well-placed, unrelated question can disarm them entirely, leaving them off balance and stripping their words of impact. Imagine someone insults you in a social setting, expecting to get under your skin. Instead of engaging, you calmly look at them and say, "By the way, do you know a good place for coffee around here?" Or, "Have you ever read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius?" This sudden shift in conversation confuses them. Their brain struggles to reconcile the hostility they projected with your indifferent response. More often than not, they'll hesitate, realizing they've lost control of the exchange. This technique works because it disrupts momentum. A provocation thrives on escalation. One reaction fuels the next. By steering the conversation in an unexpected direction, you break that cycle before it even starts. You remain composed, and they are left floundering, realizing that their attempt to get a rise out of you has failed. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control others' words, only our response. Choosing not to engage in negativity isn't weakness, it's mastery. The person who stays calm in the face of provocation commands more respect than the one who argues to prove a point. The final Stoic lesson: respect is not something you demand, it's something you embody. It isn't given freely to those who seek approval, nor is it granted to those who react impulsively to every challenge. True respect is cultivated through self-discipline, emotional control, and the ability to set firm boundaries. A person who values themselves does not chase validation from others. They command respect naturally by demonstrating unwavering self-worth. In life, people will test your limits. Some will try to undermine you, while others may push boundaries to see how much you tolerate. But remember this: the way you allow people to treat you is a direct reflection of how you see yourself. If you set no boundaries, others will take advantage of that. If you react emotionally to every insult, you give away your power. The Stoic approach is simple: stand firm, respond with composure, and walk away when necessary. As Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Mastery over your emotions and actions is the foundation of both inner peace and external respect. When you control your reactions, set clear limits, and refuse to be swayed by others' opinions, you naturally earn the admiration of those who matter and filter out those who don't. If you found value in this video, make sure to subscribe to WisdomVault365 for more insights on Stoic philosophy and self-mastery. Hit the like button to support the channel, and let us know in the comments: what's the greatest lesson you've learned about earning respect? Until next time, stay disciplined, stay composed, and keep growing.